I wasn't expecting company, but if you stay out of the shrubs and flower beds, you could stay.
Give them a wave, Pops, now that you've invited them in. We're two old guys who enjoy playing sandbox and survival games together. I'm Uncle Craig. Go ahead and sit down. Let's visit for a while. Okay, folks, the time has come for our trip to RNA-Hood. And so they're going to disperse us individually, secretly, through a contract agency to the Earth-like planet in that galaxy. Now, I have a passcode that I will put into our mission preparation channel, and that needs to be used in order to get through. And once we're set, we'll just all go and get there as soon as we can. Now, we'll be out of contact with one another until we either find each other or preferably when we get to a station and get set up there. And each of us, when we get to those stations, we can start communicating using the Alliance network. Looks like someone may be falling asleep over there on the other end of the table. So anyway, just a quick review about the initial objectives when you first get to the planet. Okay, you'll have the pod. We're not to dig any ores or disturb anything there, but what we need to do is get ourselves to one of the outposts as quickly as possible. You'll get the GPS coordinates to that outpost in your pod. You need to, we have found the best way to do this with the pod is to take off opposing thrusters from the sides, the hydrogen thruster from the bottom, and then put a left and right thruster on the top of the pod. What I found too is if I then grind down and out the antenna and the ore detector, then I usually have pretty much everything I need to put in a remote control and a gyroscope. And correct me if I'm wrong, folks, anybody here who remembers, I think that's all you need to then be able to get into the passenger seat and use the remote control to then fly the ship. I think we're all set with that.
You will have to do it in a certain order.
Yes, yeah, your progression will kind of dictate that. And what I found is if I grind down and weld a container and then a conveyor tube, as well as the landing gear, there might be one other thing that usually takes you through the progression that you need for constructing that pod. So, let's get ready to go. I know we're missing a couple of members that are going to have to be transported by the Alliance at a later time, but we do need to get started. They gave us a launch date of today, so let's get to it. Before we do, any questions, any clarifications needed before we head out? All right.
Once we get to where we're going, what are we supposed to do?
So once you get to the outpost, send a message in the Alliance network. You'll find that in the same place that you find our preparation documents. And then your goal is to secure that area, for two parts, secure that area from any Ember aggression. So keep like a 10 perimeter boundary around it as much as possible. So try to take installations. You'll have sufficient technologies for that. Take installations, hack them, and secure them for the Alliance, but don't go after Ember in any aggressive way. So our goal is not to go out and to engage them and attack them. Also, secondarily, our goal is to get everything that we need to accomplish our mission from the outpost as much as we possibly can. So it does require a lot of transactions with them and helping them build up their business and waiting until they have the right stuff that we need to then build whatever we need to build or buy ships or do whatever we need that way. Once we secure a certain location for an outpost, by that time we should have already contacted each other and be grouped up as one. And at that point, we'll begin the process of building things up to the point we have a ship that we can take out and visit the other planets where they have outposts, as well as some of the space stations. And so that's the grander goal. But first of all, just getting things secured there on Earth-like. Doc, I don't know if that answered the question you were looking for, though.
Yeah, it did. So I know there's no drilling when we land. Is there drilling near our Alliance stations or none at all, just in general?
The goal from the Alliance is for us not to do that, but to rely on them for everything. So sometimes they sell ore, sometimes they ask for ingots, whatever. So we can buy ores from them and then refine them and sell back the ingots and things like that at first. And then we'll renegotiate if we have to later. But for now, we're going to see if we can fulfill what they want using those means.
Okay.
All right. Anything else needed? Yeah, Hero.
And the location of the outpost? The location of the outpost will be on the
I've
data
been told
pads?
we're going to have data pads in the seat, in the passenger seat. My recommendation is set that in your GPS list and activate it on your HUD right away so you don't lose it, because if you then lose the data pad, then you might lose the GPS signal if you haven't actually activated it on your HUD. All right, if there isn't anything else, let's go ahead and break from here, and you can get the other information that you need in that channel, and I will see you gentlemen as soon as we can rendezvous there in Earth-like in RNA bar hood.
Like, subscriber, get off my lawn.